What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for strategy with the ticker symbol MSTR. I will first be going over what I see in the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So let's take a look at MSTR, what's dropping once again, about 5% today thus far, and most likely it's going to close bearish for the day. I'm looking for the 236 level. Earnings report is coming out after market closes today, so that can probably gap down price to the 230s. And then it'll be overextended, so we could probably see a bounce right there in the short term for higher prices. But overall, this is still a bearish looking chart. We're below this trend line right here. We are in a bearish channel, as you can see here. We're below the EMA. We have a long-term measurement target in play towards the downside. Measured this leg right here, and when it topped, right back over here, made a lower high. It's been targeting the 148 level, 150 level ever since. So me personally, if I had a long position right over here, I would be scared because my stop loss would be like right below it. So it looks like the market is targeting that liquidity, and they want to come from those stop losses, right? They want to run those stops. I think we'll probably see a good chance for a move down lower. And then from there, everyone will be super scared. We're going to go lower and then potentially set up for higher prices. Now, I'm not going to say we're going to, see a huge rally, but I think it's going to be due for a bounce, and that's if you get the bounce at all, right? Sometimes you don't. But I think more likely than not, we're probably going to go lower, see a bounce right around the 230s, and then potentially move up higher back to the high 200s. And again, that's one way it can play out. There's a bunch of other ways it can play out. But overall, chart's been bearish basically since July. Once I saw this high barely above this prior high and we started selling off strongly, I knew that was a sign to like get out, right? It didn't look good. And some people, follow other people, right? Blindly. But the thing is, if you're going to blindly buy when they're giving their review, then you also have to sell when they're giving their review, right? You can't just pick and choose when you're going to do things, right? So I got out, I bought it, but then I got out, and I think a lot of people are still holding. But you can't be basing your decisions off of me because I'm not giving trading advice here. But I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, if you were, then you would have to get out at the same time, right? You can't be holding through it, when the person you're following is also out of it. So I'm just saying, like, typically that's what I've been seeing across YouTube. People buy when other people are buying, people sell when other people are selling, and then when the other person buys or sells, they don't do it, and then they get mad, right? Well, hey, if you're gonna follow someone, you have to do, what they're doing, right? You can't just pick and choose. Anyway, I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, that's basically what I've been seeing across YouTube. A lot of people just blindly buying and following people, but they're not like following religiously, right? They're just like picking and choosing when they want to do things, but that doesn't work, right? That just messes you up both ways, right? You get messed up buying, and then when they sell and you don't sell, you get messed up again. So, I mean, that's what happens to the market. It happens to me too, right? But then I learned my lesson, and that's why I do my own analysis from now on. And as you can see here, I got out a while ago, and it's been dropping ever since. In the short term, do I like this long term? Yes, but I do think we probably have seen the top. I think it's very likely we have, right? As lower and lower we go, and as more time goes on, the probability goes from like 60% to 70% to 80, 90, and then even 100, right? When it's obviously we have topped, that then it's too late, right? When it's obvious, it's too late. So I think it's 85, 90% chance we have top. With Bitcoin dropping down lower, this thing will probably enter a zone where it will not be able to recover, right? When something is beaten down so much, like Metaplanet is beaten down so much. I can just take a look at that real quick. Let's see, MTPLF. So this stock is down like more than 80%. This thing will not recover even if Bitcoin doubles. It will not. It's down 80%. And what I mean recover is make a new all-time high, right? It's not going to make a new all-time high. It's like a 99% probability we're not. It's just beaten down so much, right? Yes, it could probably rally maybe 40%, 50% if Bitcoin doubles, and that's if we even see a double in Bitcoin, right? This thing has topped. Metaplanet has done. This cycle is toast, and it just needs to survive and not go bankrupt for it to continue to exist. So I think Metaplanet is toast. Go back to MSTR. MSTR is not in the beaten down zone yet, but if it gets down to 150, it's probably too low to recover, right? It's kind of like a human body. You can drink so much alcohol, but once it gets accumulative, you did so much damage to your liver where it's not reversible, right? Your cells cannot regenerate and fix it itself. You will need outside help, right, to fix it. Same thing with MSTR. Right now, it's still in the recovery phase if it does, if Bitcoin does bottom out. but it's entering the zone of permanent damage, right? And it's almost there. If we start seeing a breakdown of 234 below this prior lows and it stays below it, it's entering damage territory where it's not recoverable in this cycle anymore, even if Bitcoin doubles, and it's going to stay down lower. So I think that's what the market's trying to do, is really trying to like squeeze these stocks, because these traders, they run the world, and they're going to move the market where they want it, right? And I think what they're trying to do, what it looks like they're trying to do, is just trying to squeeze these Bitcoin treasury companies lower, right? Just to crush them, and then they're going to potentially rally Bitcoin and leave these in the dust. Kind of like altcoins, right? They get crushed, and then Bitcoin rallies, and then you see this huge divergence take place. So I think this same thing can happen here. Again, that's all my theory. It can be wrong. It's not going to be right all the time, but as of right now, it has been right basically since right about here. I think right about here is when I really like drew the line, and since then it's been following it pretty much to the T, right? The plan, the playbook is playing out. I think we're going to probably see the low 230s, and then probably if we don't see a very strong rally off of that level, it's game over, right? I don't think it's going to recover. We're just wasting more time. This S&P 500 is all-time highs. That is going to have a correction very soon, right? Very soon is what I mean by like with the next couple of weeks to the next couple of months. I don't see it extending out 6, 8, 1 year, right? I don't think that's going to happen. Even gold, right? Even gold's not going to have a huge correction. So I don't think these stocks, the more like volatile stocks, are going to be outperforming. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, this is looking bearish. And then, you get some questions about, technical analysis doesn't work. Here's just a real life example of technical analysis playing out. So let's just say you're booking flights on Google. I've showed a similar chart before. Let's say you want to fly from Dubai to Tokyo, right? You look at the price chart and look at what you get, right? It's been trending down. Before, about 42 days ago, it was $638. It trended down to 500, right? Low 500 seems to be the lows. What happens is you'll see these spike up, right? You'll see a spike up, and then people get scared all of a sudden. Oh my God, it's going to continue higher, and then it crashes down, right? Because this was a range, right? Before the spike up, price was stuck in a range, and a lot of times breakouts in ranges fail, right? The market kind of agrees this is a fair value, and then all of a sudden you see some like news take place. It's just a short-term thing, short-term trick, trap, whatever you want to call it, and then we see it crash down. And then it was stabilizing, and then it spiked up and it crashed down. Spiked up, crashed down. Spiked up, it stabilized at that area, so it could have continued moving up higher, especially it's trading at higher levels for this long. It could have spiked up to maybe 600, like back up to this prior high, but it didn't. But anyway, this is just kind of a real-world example of technical analysis does work. You're at a range, right? We're kind of stuck in the range between high 500s, low 500s, high 500s, low 500s. What do you think this is? This is the same thing, right? It's the same thing. It's a market. All these are markets, right? People determine the price of the stock, and people are looking at this chart and they're like, okay, well, this is a good time to buy. 506 seems like, historically, if I had more data, it'd be better. If I had like 100 days, 500 days, whatever, it'd be better. But this is good enough. This is all they give you. But I wish I had more data. But anyway, you can see that typically this is a good price. If I were to buy this flight ticket, 530, I'll probably wait another day, a couple of days. I think it'll crash back down to 506. So you save $30, right? I think it will. I don't think this is going to be, moving up higher. Same thing for this. Why would I buy right here when I see it coming back down to lower prices, like 236? And that's if I want to buy, right? If I think the trend is going to reverse. I don't think it will, but I'm saying it's headed towards lower prices, right? It's headed towards 230s, 236. Is it guaranteed? No, nothing's guaranteed in life. But I think, you just have to go with the odds, right? And as of right now, same thing with this. You just have to go with the odds and, make your bet on that. Same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is looking pretty bearish right now. I'm still very bullish long term, obviously forever. If basically this is what's happening, right? If you invert the chart, it's basically costing more dollars. Well, this is showing that it's devaluing the dollar, right? It's costing more dollars. You see that before it would cost less dollars to buy one Bitcoin, $10,000 to buy one Bitcoin. Now it's costing more dollars to buy one Bitcoin. This is exactly what's going on. Bitcoin's not going up. The dollar is getting weaker, right? Weaker in purchasing power. So it's costing more dollars to buy things. Bitcoin is just one of the things that's a measuring tool you're measuring against that's fixed in supply. Yes, there's an issuance rate, but it's has scarcity, absolute scarcity. So it's costing more dollars to buy more Bitcoin. It's not technically going up, right? It's just showing that it's costing more dollars to buy one Bitcoin. So it's a joke that this is dropping down. That means that obviously in the short term, it's costing less dollars to buy one Bitcoin. But we all know that dollar is going to continue to devalue itself over time. We can make a bet right now. If you think the dollar is going to get stronger in 5-10 years, that means that everything will get cheaper. Houses will get cheaper, cars will get cheaper, food will get cheaper, wages won't go up, right? If you want to believe that, that means you think Bitcoin will just continue to crash and go lower and lower, right? That's what you're saying, right? But long term, Bitcoin, I think, is going to do the opposite, right? It's going to take all that increase in money supply into it, right? And then just absorb it, and then it's going to continue moving up. So this is just short term, nothing, right? It's just comparing a illusionary money that we're using compared to like the best money we ever seen in humanity, right? So yeah, short term it is going down, and there's obviously better times to buy things. And this is potentially targeting around the low 90s, mid to low 90s, I think. Maybe stop out traders who have the stop losses here, and then probably see another last rally up, and that's if we get that last rally up. So it looks like it's trying to break down towards the lower side of the lower side of the range. And as you can see here, this was a range pattern, and we hit the bottom multiple times, but we cannot go to the top, right? It's showing a bearish imbalance. It kind of stopped at the midline. It's not showing any signs of strength. Now we're back down to lows with strong selling. Looks like we're going to probably see a break. I'm looking for a break of 100,000 and entering the low to mid 90s and potentially bottoming out over there for potentially one last move up higher. And hopefully we have not seen the top for Bitcoin. That's going to put a lot of pressure for these Bitcoin treasury companies. And then Bitcoin against MSTR, you see this continuing to outperform even in its down days, severely down days. It's headed towards 430. And I think that coincides with MSTR. Once it hits probably like the 230s, we'll probably see a bounce. Right about here, go down temporarily and then maybe just continue moving up higher, right? So I think right around 431, that's probably MSTR right around the 230s, and Bitcoin maybe dropping down a little bit more, and then still probably see a Bitcoin outpacing big MSTR. So that's all I have for charts for today. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully it makes sense. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Again, nothing's guaranteed. If you know something with certainty, then you wouldn't be watching this video, right? These are all just predictions, models, tools that we use to see what can happen. And one of the best predictors of the future is using the past, right? We're not gonna go to $500 tomorrow for MSTR. We're not gonna go to $150 tomorrow for MSTR. We're just not, right? It's just not. It's really not. It's possible, but it's really not probable. We're just probably just going to continue what we have been doing, going down slowly but surely, headed towards 238. Let's see if we get a bounce from there. If it's a hard bounce, I think maybe we have seen a trend reversal. If not, expect lower prices or break down towards 150. That's all I have for today. This is Vee Trades. Thank you for your time.